Hello everyone, today my wife and I are making no-bake chocolate oat cookies. It's a super quick recipe, perfect for a dessert or snack, and it uses only one saucepan so it has minimal cleanup. Ready? Let's get started. As always, the ingredients can also be found in the video description. And if someone has a peanut allergy, you can substitute out the peanut butter for 1 cup of almond butter. For step 1, we'll need 1 medium saucepan plus 2 cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of milk, 1 stick of unsalted butter, and 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Begin by grabbing your saucepan and pouring in 2 cups of sugar. Then pour in 1/2 cup of milk. I use skim milk. Then we're ready to add in 1 stick or 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. And finally pour in 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Next, set your stovetop to medium heat. While the saucepan began heating up, I started mixing together all the ingredients. It took a minute or so for the butter to start melting, which made it easier to mix. But for this part, it's most important to just take your time. Continually stir over medium heat while we're waiting for the saucepan to boil. This is what my mixture began to look like after 2 minutes. After 3 minutes, the mixture was simmering and I continued to stir. For step 2, once it hits a low boil, continue to heat for 1 minute. After 1 minute at a low boil, it's time to turn off the range. Then I move the saucepan to a cooler surface. For step 3, we'll need 3 cups of quick oats, 1 cup of smooth peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. Begin by pouring in the 3 cups of quick oats. Next, pour in 1 cup of smooth peanut butter. I guess it would be more accurate to say spoon in 1 cup of smooth peanut butter. Either way, my wife did a great job of making it look easy. Next, it's time to pour in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And finally, sprinkle in a pinch of salt. Once all these ingredients have been added, carefully mix them together using a large spoon. I went ahead and sped this part up for the video, but it did take some time. And this is what it looked like after a couple minutes of mixing. It took 3 or 4 minutes before it was fully mixed and looked like this. Then I let the cookie mixture cool for a couple minutes before moving on to the next step. And now is a great time for our fun goose fact. Did you know that goslings learn to swim within 1 day of being born? And as they get older, they can become friends with other goslings. They call these friend groups gang broods. But don't worry, their parents still keep an eye on them. And now, back to the cookies. For step 4, prepare a baking sheet with parchment paper or aluminum foil. You can also use a silicone baking mat. The key is to get a surface that the cookies won't stick to. Then, using a cookie dough scoop or spoon, scoop out the dough and place it onto the prepared surface in rounded spoonfuls. Remember, we aren't baking these cookies, so they won't expand. That means we can place them closer together than we usually do with baked cookies. Keep scooping out the dough until there's none left. We might be guilty of tasting some of the dough during this process, but we ended up with about 30 cookies. This time the kids were asleep, so we couldn't blame them. When it was all said and done, it took us less than 5 minutes to scoop out all the dough. And the final step, step number 5, is to allow the cookies to cool for around 30 minutes. As the cookies cool, they become more firm. After the cookies cooled, they turned out great. We liked that we didn't have to put much time into this recipe, so if you need a quick dessert or snack, these cookies work really well. My wife liked that we didn't have to get the mixer out. Plus, as we mentioned at the beginning, it only takes one saucepan, which helps speed and clean up. These cookies have a fair amount of sugar, so they are sweet, but the peanut butter also adds protein and makes them filling. They definitely help with a sweet tooth, but check out our healthy no-bake cookie recipe for a more nutritious option. See you there!